Hello and welcome to the second episode of Little High, Little Low. Today's episode will be about some history. Nope, not World War II, not World War I either. Farther back than the Napoleonic Wars, we are talking about the medieval times. Now, I think the best place to start would be the rule of Olga of Kiev. She ruled the Kievan Rus, or a part of it, from 945 until 960. Let's just say she was the definition of zero chill. The best story she has to offer is the story of Olga's revenge. Her husband went over to a city in the Rus called Dreblin. Now, the Dreblins killed him when he went there. Olga took the throne because their son was only 2 years old at the time, and the Dreblins wanted to convince her to marry their prince so they could take over all of Kiev. So they sent over 20 people to convince her to marry their prince. After no thought whatsoever, in a very sane state of mind, she had all 20 of them buried alive. After that, she sent this 100% real exact letter to the Dreblian prince. Lol, you're hot. I accept your proposal, but send over your 3 best governors to escort me. So the Dreblians did so. She greeted them, said, "Hey, you guys had a long journey. Do you want to come over into this bathhouse and relax? You could probably use it." So they went into the bathhouse. Olga proceeded to lock the door and burned the place to the ground. After that, she invited as many Dreblians over to have a party with her. Everyone showed up: Skrillex, Justin Timberlake, and 500 unsuspecting Dreblians. She got them all drunk, then ordered her soldiers to kill every one of them. After that, she went over to the Dreblian city, said that if each house gave them 3 pigeons and 3 sparrows from each household, she would spare them. The Dreblians did so, fearing their lives. She tied cotton to each of the birds' legs, lit it on fire, and then released the birds back in the way of the village. They landed back in their nests, which were in the houses of the Dreblians. This resulted in the entire city burning down. She was later crowned a saint, probably around the same time as Saint Tiffany, who went around and pushed in the flat spots of babies. Now, the next thing on our list would have to be Greek fire. Despite popular belief, Greek fire was not 50% Greek and was not 50% fire. It was 100% fire and made by the Byzantines. We don't know what it was made of, but it acted a lot like napalm, sticking to anything. It would even burn on the surface of the water. They had long tubes to pour it out of, but it was trashed pretty quickly because it was pretty much a DUI flamethrower, and you're probably going to run into some problems. The next thing we have and the final thing we have today is we go all the way to 1300 AD. King Edward I is trying to invade Scotland. One castle in particular is giving him a lot of trouble. None of the normal-sized trebuchets were working, so obviously he nuked the castle. By that, I mean he built a giant trebuchet, 6 stories tall. That is about as big as King Kong. He called it the Werewolf. Now, all you need to do is imagine a gigantic ape whipping boulders at a castle. And that's what this thing was. After they finished it, the Scots immediately surrendered. But my homie Edward here was like, screw that, and then proceeded to shoot the castle with his huge trebuchet. That was the second episode of Little High, Little Low. I hope you enjoyed listening to it. The next episode should be out soon. Thank you, and goodbye.